We pay homage to the Blessed One, Supremely Enlightened Buddha. Sadhu, sadhu. We pay homage to our teacher, Luk Swami Nahanse. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So, you remember what we were learning? The discourse about awakening, right? Sambodhisutta, the aids to enlightenment. Okay. So Buddha taught us about these aids to enlightenment. That means if somebody wants to attain enlightenment, the stages of enlightenment, right? How many stages of enlightenment are there?
5.
There are 5.
Yes, aids to enlightenment are 5.
I mean stages of enlightenment.
Oh, I see. 4.
Right.
4, right, Bante?
For first stage of enlightenment, second stage of enlightenment, third stage of enlightenment, and fourth stage of enlightenment. So there are 4 stages of enlightenment. So these aids to enlightenment are supporting factors for all those 4 stages of enlightenment. So that means these, how many factors are here? 8 factors. So these 8 aids to enlightenment means these same 8 factors help the practitioner to attain first stage of enlightenment. Same 8 factors, when they are developed, help the practitioner to attain the second stage of enlightenment. Same 8 factors, 9 factors help the practitioner to attain third stage of enlightenment, and the same 9 factors help the practitioner to attain the last stage of enlightenment. So they are very important from the beginning to end, and you need to practice the same factors. Okay, so these 9 factors are: first one, second one, third one,
third one is the kata, the 10th house one. Ten kata.
Let's say special or wholesome. Which one better?
Wholesome thoughts.
Number 4.
The energy. Arousing energy.
And then arousing energy for what?
To abandon the unwholesome and to develop hopes.
Number 5.
Number 5 is panya, the wisdom.
Didn't learn? Okay, so these are the 5 aids to enlightenment. That means if anybody practices these 5, gradually they will get closer to enlightenment. First stage of enlightenment, that means they will become stream enterers, Sotapanna disciples. That means they will become once returners, Sakadagami disciples. They will become non-returners, Anagami disciples, and they will be free from all suffering by becoming arahants. Same 9 factors. First one, can everybody read?
To associate friends in the Dhamma.
We discussed about that in detail. Second one,
To follow precepts.
we discussed that also. Third one,
To hear the 10 hearts of souls.
we learned about that.
To make effort to abandon the unwholesome and develop the wholesome.
Okay, so this is for this. Today we are going to learn about the 5th aid to enlightenment. This is the 5th one. Buddha teaches here about the 5th aid to enlightenment. Furthermore, a mendicant or any practitioner of the Dhamma is wise. Okay. He or she has the wisdom of arising and passing away of conditioned things, the 5 aggregates of clinging, which is noble, penetrative, and leads to the complete ending of suffering. This is the 5th vital condition for the development of the awakening factors. So let's check the Pali here. Buddha teaches here, Punacha parang also bhikkhu panyava hoti. Okay, the practitioner is wise means panyava. He has wisdom, panya. And Buddha here describes the meaning of panya or the meaning of wisdom. There can be like ordinary meanings for wisdom. Do people use wisdom to say about ordinary things? He has wisdom to drive a car. Do you say that? No. How do you use it in the ordinary sense? Huh? No? All the people have wisdom?
They should.
Not necessary.
Also the experience.
Yes, so people use that word in the ordinary society, right? Wisdom. But when it comes to the Dhamma, when Buddha uses the word panya, and when it is translated as wise, it has a very specific meaning. This is the meaning. Udayatta gaminiya panya. What is that wisdom? What is that panya? It is the wisdom. It is the wisdom to see the arising and passing away. That means cause and effect mechanism of everything. So this practitioner has the wisdom, the understanding, the realization to see things as they really are. What is that wisdom? The practitioner understands the arising and passing away of the form. That means this physical body. Arising and passing away of feelings. Arising and passing away of perception. Arising and passing away of volition. Arising and passing away of consciousness. So that's specific wisdom. And how so? Form, feeling, perception, volition, consciousness means another name for life. Five aggregates of clinging means another name for this life. Everybody's life is a set of 5 aggregates of clinging. And we have given names to those each 5 aggregates of clinging. So understanding the arising and passing away of these 5 aggregates of clinging means they understand, for example, let's say feeling. Let's take feeling, a main part of this life. We feel different feelings when we see things, when we hear things, when we smell things, when we taste things, when we think about things, we experience feelings. Sometimes Buddha categorizes those feelings into 3. Through these senses, sometimes we feel happy. So that's called pleasant feeling. Sometimes through these senses, we feel painful. That's called unpleasant feeling. Sometimes we feel neutral. That's called neither pleasant nor unpleasant. So those are 3 types of feelings. So understanding the arising of feeling means one understands how these feelings are formed within the dependent origination. So that means when a feeling arises, this feeling has a stream of causes behind the arising of the feeling. For example, if you, Buddha teaches here, when one welcomes the feeling, abhinandati, when one admires the feeling, these are different words to explain about craving. Okay, so a feeling arises and craving arises. One welcomes the feeling, admires the feeling, abhinandati, abhivadati, ajjosa itittati. One's mind is stuck in that feeling, attached to that feeling. Okay, and then the mind is established in that feeling with craving. Then what happens? More desires arise. And Buddha teaches this desire is the clinging there. So one is stuck in that feeling, and so many other feelings arise based on that feeling, so many emotions. And let's say if we saw something that we like, and then craving arises, and we want to have it again and again. See, so many other types of feelings are associated with that, right? And so then craving is very well established there. Mind is stuck in that feeling, and Buddha teaches, then what happens is, when there is clinging for feeling, there is arranging of karma. Based on that desire, craving, clinging, we do things with our body. We say words and we think about it. So those are the 3 types of karma: bodily karma, verbal karma, and mental karma. So clinging leads to karma. When there is karma arrangement, there is rebirth. Rebirth is arranged. So depending on karma, rebirth is arranged. Depending on rebirth, old age, sickness, death, mental suffering, physical suffering. You can call anxiety, depression, whatever name. Entire suffering arises. Buddha teaches, ayang vucchati, vedanaya samudaya. This is the arising of feeling. In other words, the practitioner understands feeling. Even though when we feel something, we take it as mine, I am, myself, we think that we are feeling it, we sense it, but Buddha teaches there is no such a self there. That means you cannot command the feeling, saying, okay, this feeling should last this much of time. Or I don't like unpleasant feeling, I only like pleasant feelings. Buddha teaches, if you were able to command on the feelings like that, then you can say feeling is self. Since you don't have that kind of ability, power to command the feeling, may my feeling be thus, may my feeling not be thus. Feeling is non-self, anatta. And why is that? Because that feeling is conditioned by not your wish, not your volition, not your desire. The feeling is conditioned by those causes. So feeling is a product of this dependent origination. When there is the contact for a pleasant feeling, the result will be happy. It's not because you command the feeling. I need a happy feeling now. So let a happy feeling come. No, you cannot command like that. It depends on contact. So contact is part of the dependent origination. So panya means a very deep thing. So if you go to Samadhi Bhavana Sutta, you can see Buddha explains about this arising and passing away of feelings. And the passing away of feeling is by realizing the Four Noble Truths. When one's ignorance is abandoned, feeling is not welcomed, not admired, not it's not the mind is not established in the feeling, because craving is completely gone. Craving is abandoned. When craving is abandoned, clinging ceases. So that is that. There are two words here. Udayanga means arising. Attangama means passing away. Okay. So there are two words here. So arising and passing away. So the passing away means when that craving is abandoned, clinging is abandoned. The practitioner understands that when the clinging is abandoned, karma is abandoned. With the cessation of karma, with the cessation of clinging comes the cessation of karma. So karma is no longer arranged in that person's life. With the cessation of karma comes the cessation of rebirth. That means when the feeling ceases, the person is not going to be reborn again. Because the necessary conditions for rebirth, which is karma, is now completely abandoned. With the cessation of rebirth comes the cessation of old age, sickness, death, mental and physical suffering. That is the permanent solution for life's problem. So when the practitioner understands this cause and effect mechanism behind each conditioned thing, that's called wisdom. That's called panya. And that panya, that wisdom, is always about, because it gives this understanding about the cause and effect mechanism. The truth inside that mechanism is that every conditioned thing is impermanent, subject to change, become otherwise, and not self. So those specific characteristics are very well realized. So with that understanding, with that knowledge, that wisdom, there are Buddha these beautiful words to explain the characteristics of that wisdom. Ariyaya Nibbedikaya Dukkakaya Gaminiya. Okay. If that is the wisdom, the panya about the reality of this life, so that wisdom is called Arya. Noble. It's not an ordinary understanding. It's a very special, noble understanding. Nibbedikaya. And this wisdom always leads to the detachment, renunciation. So in ordinary life, you can say somebody is wise, but he can be at the same time attached to things, right? And not understanding how things, take place, how things happen in life. But this special wisdom always leads to the opposite of craving, opposite of attachment. Because as the person sees the truth of life, there is no place for attachment. There's no place for more and more craving. There is no place for this unnecessary, indulgence and all these things. So then, craving is this understanding, this knowledge, this wisdom leads to detachment, renunciation, and towards the liberation. Samma dukkha gaminiya. Another characteristic of that wisdom is that this understanding leads to the complete ending of suffering. This wisdom leads to the complete ending of suffering. In the ordinary world, somebody might have some kind of wisdom, but it will not necessarily lead to the ending of suffering. But this wisdom leads to the complete ending of suffering. That's the meaning of samma dukkha gaminiya. So like that, understanding the true nature of this life means understanding the arising and passing away of form aggregate, feeling aggregate, perception, sanya, right? And sankhara, volition aggregate, and vijnana, consciousness aggregate. You know those five, right? Another name for life. And Buddha taught us that if you try to understand the life in this aspect, you will realize how this life exactly works. Form, you have to understand the true nature of form, means this physical body. Second one, feelings. Third one, perception. Fourth one, volition. In order to understand the true nature of this life, one has to understand these five things. Understanding these five things means understanding what they are, how they arise, how they cease. There are two more things with regard to the understanding the true nature. So you understand the true nature of these five things. That is the first one, like understanding what they are. Second one, understanding how they arise. That means, okay, how they arise. Third one is how they cease. If something arising for something and cessation of it, is it permanent or impermanent? Impermanent. So it's basically understanding impermanence. How they cease. Another one, the gratification of it. Understanding the true nature of this means understanding the happy nature of those things. Why beings get attached to those. there is a happiness in those things, and you understand that very well. So that's an inherent quality of those things, and that you categorize as the gratification. Asada. Number 5, as well you understand there is a temporary gratification, temporary enjoyment, temporary happiness in all these things, but at the same time there is a there are drawbacks of all these things. There are drawbacks. So that's called adinava. Another translation is danger. There is a happy side of this, and there is a dangerous side of it. Dangerous side is if one gets attached to these 5 things, one will have to suffer because they change. Feeling change, perception change, body changes. If there is attachment, one has to cry, get sad, upset, because they change. So that is the danger, right? That's the danger. Okay, there is a beautiful car, very good look from outside. So you have craving now. Okay, that's the happy part of it. And you get closer to it, and you learn about the engine and everything. Then you understand lots of problems, and you contemplate more and more on the drawbacks of buying this car, how you are going to suffer. Now, even though there is the outside look is good, and you wanted to buy it, but now you contemplate on the bigger picture of it. When you contemplate on the bigger picture, that means you contemplate on the drawbacks, the danger, the suffering you are going to have because the engine is not good. Comes the 6th one. You understand, you achieve, you experience the Nissarana, which is the escape means. Yeah, that's the escape. Escape means abandonment of desire. You don't want to buy it because you contemplated on the suffering that would come from that, and now you don't want to buy it. So that's called abandonment of craving. Isn't that how this life works? Imagine one does not contemplate on the 5th one. He's only left with this happy side, and then he buys that car. Result, lots of suffering. Right? That is briefly what has happened to all beings who wander in this samsara. Buddha understood that very clearly, and then Buddha analyzed the entire life. So all these 5 things, another name for life, this is life, these 5 things. And then if somebody can understand these 6 aspects of those 5 things, that means of the life, that is the path to enlightenment. Is that very clear? That's beautiful wisdom. Buddha first understood it without the help of anyone. So Buddha is self-awakened, and then Buddha taught it to the world. So now you have an understanding about this special wisdom. It's not an ordinary wisdom.
What is the danger of consciousness?
Consciousness is impermanent, subject to change, become otherwise. So if somebody has craving for consciousness, consciousness means like knowing things, the knowing part of each, seeing, hearing. So if somebody clings to that and has craving, when that cognition changes, then somebody has suffering, pain. Because if it was like a pleasant thing that his consciousness was cogniting, and there was craving, and it changes, then suffering arises. Not only that, consciousness is a part of the cause and effect mechanism. So the craving for consciousness always leads to clinging. Clinging leads to karma. Karma leads to rebirth. Rebirth leads to more and more suffering. So it is not separated from this cause and effect mechanism. It is a part of it. And the craving is the second noble truth, right? The cause of suffering is craving. So craving for consciousness is also there. So then Buddha teaches, when there is craving for consciousness, this existence, this journey of rebirth continues. That is the danger of seeing the happy part of the consciousness and clinging to it. For example, let's say another like simple example. So we see a grandson or a granddaughter with our eyes. So there is eye, visual object, and eye consciousness. So if we cling to that eye consciousness, if something happens to that grandson or granddaughter, something bad happened, and we cannot see him or her anymore, we cannot bear that. We cry a lot because now the consciousness changed.
Would that be the form though? Grandchild is no longer there, would that be the station of form that we?
And we,
go to?
after we like, when we see, like there is the involvement of consciousness also, because when we see, form is the visual object. Buddha teaches there is the visual object, there is the eye, unbroken, the good eye. But if the eye consciousness has not arisen, you won't see that. So there is an involvement of consciousness. The form is the form part is, there is the visual object, and also there is form part in the eye as well. So whatever is derived from earth element, water element, heat element, and air element is called form. So form is also associated there, but consciousness always in hearing, seeing, smelling, and all the processes. Okay. So this is Buddha teacher. This is the fifth vital condition for the development of awakening factors. Then Buddha teaches here. A practitioner with good friends, companions, and associates can expect to be ethical. That means if somebody has good friends, he or she will keep the precepts well. Is that right? Right. If friend keeps precepts, the other person also start doing good things, keeping precepts. If the friend does bad things, break precepts, then the other person also will start doing those things. That's how association. And then Buddha teaches, if somebody has good friends, so that is the first one, right? Out of those, all the aids to enlightenment. Again, if somebody has good friends, good associates, can expect to take part in talk about those 10 types of awesome talks, because the good friends talk about those, right? If somebody has good friends, Buddha repeats that. Good companions and associates can expect to live with energy roused up. That means friends help the other person to abandon unwholesome qualities and to develop wholesome qualities. Let's take precepts. Let's observe 8 precepts. Let's meditate. Let's learn the Dhamma. help. A practitioner with good friends, companions, and associates can expect to be wise. Definitely, right? When you have good, wise friends, definitely your wisdom increases because they share the Dhamma with you. They help you to see things as they really are. They don't encourage you to think in a negative way, in an unwholesome way, because they use their wisdom when they advise you, help you. Buddha teaches, based on those 5 things, one should develop further 4 things. Okay, so now we go back here. Many 5s, 4s, right? So we go to these 5. Beautiful Dhamma, right? All like golden words, right? Golden qualities. So this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is wisdom, right? So this wisdom. We discussed about it, okay? And then based on these 5, what are those 5? Based on the association of friends in the Dhamma, based on following precepts, based on those 10 types of wholesome talks, based on energy, based on wisdom, Buddha teaches, now you should develop 4 further things. Okay. Panchasu dhammesu patittaya. Patittaya means you are very well established on these. That means you frequently practice these. Okay, that means you take these 5 things seriously. You give top priority to practice these things, right? And they are like growing in you very well, these factors. So that's the means patittaya. Chattaro dhamma uttari bhave tabba. You need to practice 4 other things. First one, these are beautiful things. Asubha bhave tabba. Now Buddha teaches about meditation or mindfulness practice. Okay, so this is like you can say 5 roots of a tree. Okay, now the tree is growing towards lasting happiness. So 5 other things should be practiced. Last page of the box. First one, Asubha Bhavitabha. One should practice this meditation on impurities of the body. This is the path. Okay, and Buddha teaches why. What is the reason? Asubha bhavetabha ragasya pahanaya. Because there is a major defilement that would hinder the path to enlightenment. Because the path to enlightenment is hindered by that major defilement, we are all going to suffer again and again because of that major defilement. The craving is accumulated, karma is accumulated, clinging is accumulated, and we are going to be reborn again and again. So we will have lives in hell, lives as animals, lives as ghosts, life in the human world, in miserable places, no food to eat, no water to drink, in the battlefield, in the midst of weapons, bombs, missiles, and all these things. Is suffering of the human world. So this major defilement brings beings to these miserable realms of rebirth, and it continues. So what is that major defilement? Buddha teaches that is called lust. So asubha bhavetaba ragasa pahanaya. But Buddha discovered this amazing tool, amazing solution, amazing medicine to fight against this so-called disease, major defilement, lust. So in order to abandon lust, this meditation should be practiced. Everybody should practice this meditation to overcome this major defilement. And that is how to get closer to enlightenment. That's the first meditation. Second meditation. Metta. Metta. Meditation on loving kindness. Some people think there is only breathing meditation in Buddhism. But loving kindness is also a major one. Don't forget that. Loving kindness should be practiced. Buddha teaches that meditation should be practiced. And why? Because there is another major defilement that hinders the path to enlightenment. Vyapadassa pahanaya. In order to overcome anger, loving kindness should be practiced. Anger is the next major defilement. Not only they hinder the path to enlightenment, they hinder the entire growth, development of this life. These major defilements, don't they? They ruin somebody's life. How many people are in jail right now in this entire world due to lust attacks, problems? How many people are in jail right now due to anger attacks, anger problems? See, these are major defilements. No one can say that we need these things. These things are beneficial. No one can argue like that. So they definitely hinder the happiness of this life, and they also hinder the path to enlightenment. So if they bring pain to this life here and now, we can think definitely they will bring pain to our future lives. So that's why they should be overcome. Next, Buddha teaches another meditation should be practiced. Anapanasati. Familiar, right? Breathing. So the translation, in and out breathing. Let's see. Mindfulness on breathing. Mindfulness of sati means mindfulness. Ana means in breathing. Ana means out breathing. So mindfulness of in, out breathing. Instructions are very clear, right? In these discourses. And especially one of the major benefit of practicing this mindfulness of in and out breathing, Buddha explains here. Anapanasati bhavetabha vitakupachedaya. In order to subside, in order to calm the mind from wandering thoughts. So what is that major defilement that hinders the path? The third defilement is wandering thoughts. So breathing meditation helps practitioner to overcome wandering thoughts and to focus on the unification of mind. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Last one. Buddha teaches another meditation should be practiced. Anicca sanya. That meditation is called so there are lots of things to do, right? Perception. So it's not easy to end suffering, for sure. There are no shortcuts. One has to work very hard, seriously. No shortcuts. Prayers wouldn't help. Oh, may I be escape from suffering? May I escape from suffering? May somebody come and help me? No, one has to be one's own savior. That's the word of the Buddha. Perception of impermanence. Perception of impermanence. It is to anicca sanya bhavetaba asmi mana samughataya. Perception of impermanence to uproot the conceit I am. There is a conceit I am. That means we don't see the life as cause and effect mechanism. In that aspect, we don't see the life. We always think that this is I am, this is me, this is myself. That's one of the base unwholesome notion that gives rise to so many other defaults. That's why when somebody yells at us, we take that as personal insult, and we have a different sets of questions. Why did he say that? Why did he do that? It's not fair. So I, me, myself. But when you understand impermanence, when you develop this perception, completely different. Somebody yells at you, insults you, and you think, Buddha taught this. You think a sound, ear consciousness, 3 conditioned things come together, which is ear contact. Based on the ear contact, unpleasant feeling has arisen. This unpleasant feeling is conditioned. It is not me, not I am, not myself. Completely different reaction. You don't take it as me, I am, or myself. And on the spot, your suffering is decreased. Because you see it as it actually is. And that is what this meditation will do to all of the lives of those who practice it. Anicca. Anicca sanyino bhikkhave anatta sanya santati. Buddha explains those who practice this meditation, the perception of impermanence, will clearly understand the nature of non-self. If something is subject to change, there's nobody to control, nobody to command on that. It keeps changing, and that's non-self. Anatta sanyi asmimana samughatanam papunati dichcheya dhamme nibbānanti. Perceiving not self. Now you understand, practitioner understand the impermanence, and then one who understand impermanence understand non-self nature. Perceiving not self, you uproot the conceit I am and attain extinguishment in very life. In this very life, extinguishment means freedom from suffering. This is the entire path is explained in a very beautiful way in this sutta, Sambodhisutta Sutta. Awakening. Sadhu. 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 So I took all the 4 sides. Okay. It can't go anymore. So now you understand the powerful meditations. So please understand very clearly, breathing meditation is only one. So what is, can you read this?
Purities of the body. Mindfulness of inner well-being. Perception of impermanence.
So 4 plus 5 total 9. And those are the factors. Aids to enlightenment. Harry, you will be waiting for a long time.
Sadhu, sadhu, Bante. Bante, I just suddenly thought of a question, which is, Bante
So
mentioned
what do
a
you
while ago.
think? What do you think about the discourse?
Oh, very, very enlightening, Bante. Okay, especially the last part. Okay, all
Yeah.
5 and then the 4 perceptions, meditations. Now, Bante, made mention of one thing a while ago, crying. Bante, this crying thing, it's a very natural reaction of almost everybody when there is a contact and, of course, the feelings of, let's say, pity, sadness. Okay, whether I see that people out there, I see a pity scene, or I thought of my past. Okay, and those are the pity things, and people immediately resort to cry. Okay, instant crying. So crying, is it an attachment? Because well, maybe because Bante mentioned a while ago. Now crying, if I recall later on an incident of my past and I cry, so that is also attachment, right, Bante? So my question would be, but then people say that crying is soothing, therapeutic. You let it out.
I have heard
Okay.
that.
Yeah, you let it out, and it helps. And some people may, but then the crying may not be an attachment. Okay, that's my question. So if Bante thought that crying is not really good because of the attachment, how are we going to react to situations when there's feeling of sadness or pity? I thought of compassion, but compassion always comes out because of that feeling. So there is that connection again, Bante. So please share.
Okay. Yes. So it's not about suppressing. It's not about suppressing tears or crying. The permanent solution is uprooting the causes of tears. That's the permanent solution. You can say, oh, I heard that crying is not good, so I suppress my tears. But that would not necessarily take you to the ending of suffering. But it's all about uprooting the causes of crying. If we think, on the other hand, crying is a soothing thing, Buddha taught, in this long journey of samsara, we have cried a lot. A stream of tears. We shed a stream of tears that those tears are greater than the water not in one ocean, greater than the water of 4 great oceans. That's the length of this samsara. We came crying. If it is a soothing thing, if it is a solution, why are we here still? We should be in a very peaceful state then, by now. Because soothing is added, right? Every time when we cry, soothing is the result. So then we should have been in a very peaceful state by now. But when Buddha saw others crying, for example, just before Buddha's passing away, when Buddha saw his chief attendant who served the Buddha like the shadow, Venerable Anandathero, crying, thinking, oh, the only light of the world, the only eye of the world is soon going to disappear. That Venerable Anandathero was thinking about the entire world, about all beings, because Buddha lived only for 45 years. Now Buddha is going to pass away. The world is going to go to this thick darkness again for a long, long time once the Buddha's teachings disappeared from this earth. So Ananda Bhante had these feelings, and then he started crying. He was not an ordinary monk. He was a Sotapanna disciple who already attained the first stage of enlightenment. And then Buddha summoned him and taught the Dhamma. Ananda, don't cry. Don't be sad. Haven't I already taught you that we have to be separated from loved ones? Haven't I taught you that we have to leave this world? Even enlightened ones leave this world. Even they attain into Parinibbana. So Ananda, I have taught you the Dhamma. That is the only refuge. Practice mindfulness. Practice the Dhamma. Be your own savior. Those were the words of the Buddha.
Make a checklist of this and check it every day.
Like what? Eh?
Huh? Checklist. Look at it every day.
Oh yeah. But what happens if we cannot see one day? So it should be here. Even we cannot see, we cannot hear, we still can use if it is memorized. But it is good to take notes and read them, practice verbally, and those help us to retain the Dhamma in the mind, to take things. But those are only supporting things. We should not rely on those things. You know, what happens if we lose eyesight? And you will think, oh, I planned this to read all these my notes when I am in the hospital in the last stage of this life. What happened? No, I lost everything. I lost my sight. How can I see now? I didn't memorize anything. So, too late, right? So, because these faculties like eye, ear, they have a limited lifetime. Sometimes the person still lives, but these faculties die. Isn't that the truth? Because Buddha teaches, Chakkum bhikkhave puranam kamma. Eye is a result of old karma. Sotang puranam kamma. Ear is a result of old karma. So they each have their own lifespan according to the karma. It's the result of old karma. Cause is what Buddha explains about the cause. Cause is the actions we do right now with the body, speech, and mind. That becomes the cause. That's called the new karma. That becomes the cause for the future life. Future life means future eye, future ear, future nose, future tongue, future body, future mind. If the karma is bad, you will get these 6 things, but as an animal in a miserable place. So that's every being means another name for the life is 6 sense faculties. Prasad, please ask your question.
This question is, can you hear me, Swaminathan?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, this question is related to Vipallasa, the inversion of perceptions.
Right.
Can you explain me, Swaminathan, the difference between Sukha inversion and Subha inversion with examples?
Okay.
Yeah, so thank you. Swaminathan.
Okay. First, I have to explain the question. Oh, I have run out places. So he asked about Sanya Vipallasa. Sanya Vipallasa means distorted perception. The Buddha teaches there are 4 types of distorted perception, and that distorted, wrong perception leads to suffering. And what are these 4? Asubhe Subha Sanya. We see impure things, ugly things as beautiful things and start craving. But the truth is covered by our ignorance. When this veil of ignorance is removed, one will see ugly things, impure things as impure things. So no more craving, no more attachment, no more desires. Enlightened monks, nuns, the Buddhas, they see without that curtain, without that cover. They see as they really are. They see the truth. And the next distorted perception is anicca nicca sanya. We take impermanent things as permanent things. That's why we fight. We fight. I am the owner of this. I want to keep this. We don't understand that everything is impermanent. Everybody is going to die one day. We own nothing in this world. Because we think we have this perception, like deeply rooted, that things are going to last, permanent. That's why you have not shared your passwords with anybody. Because what happens if we die today? The other family members don't know how to log into your email. And very important emails about your family comes to your email. Because I heard that such a story recently. Somebody passed away. Because nobody thinks that I might die today. And somebody passed away. She didn't think that it was going to happen to her. But it happened. But Buddha teaches you should think every day. It can happen. But as I said, people don't think that things are impermanent. They think, no, I am not going to die today. I will die maybe after many years. That's the perception of permanence, distorted perception. And then after her death, the other friends, family members faced lots of problems because there is no access to bank accounts, no access to this, no access to that. And then when they go to the government places, they don't give things to these people. There is no way to, you know, it's a complicated thing. So then I asked, when people come, when they come, I ask them to share the passwords. Husband's passwords, please share with wife. Wife's passwords, share with husband. Children passwords, share with parents. Parents passwords, share with children. Don't you think it's necessary? In some cases. If you think what you receive into your email is not going to be useful for the rest of the family members, then of course you don't need to share. But if you think, yeah, not work email. I mean, like, it's just an example, you know. I mean, like, important things that even if we pass away, that other family members should know, shouldn't we share them with them? Yeah, like, there can be so many things. Otherwise, the other people will suffer. Some people do, but some people don't think. Don't think like that.
But even if we are still alive, we forgot our password. we could lost hundreds of millions of dollars in Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Because I don't know the password.
Possible. Definitely.
Couldn't find it.
Yeah. So more pain for the people if they want to get access to those things. But it's not about passwords. It's just an example of how our mind tends to think that this life is permanent. It's a kind of notion of permanence. Buddha teaches, if people knew that they are going to die one day, all these conflicts, quarrels in the world would come to an end. So that means, what is in the mind? What kind of perception? Not the impermanence, the perception of permanence. So distorted perception is seeing impermanent things as permanent. So he asked about examples for asubhe subha sanya. So for example, take this body. Buddha teaches the true nature of this body is impure nature, oozing filth day and night from this body. But do the ordinary world recognize the body as that kind of perception? No. How many problems in this world? How many pain? How many suffering in this world because of not understanding that? So that's an example for asubhe subha sanya. And everything in this world is like that. Distorted perception. And the other one is dukkhe sukha sanya. Things are subject to pain and suffering, but we recognize them as happy, pleasant feelings, and we chase after them, we run after them, we need to have them, you know, then because we think happiness come to our life because of those things. But eventually, we have to face the truth. And the last one is the distorted perception is anatte atta sanya, seeing the things that are non-self as things with a self. That means one cannot control these conditioned things, one cannot command, but one thinks, no, I am the owner, I can command, I can control things, things should be according to my wish, like that idea. Okay, Gita.
Namo Buddhaya Bhante. Thank you for teaching all of us. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Bhante, my question is on the Paticca Samuppada. we were talking about contact and feeling. In order to stop all karmic formations from coming to fruition, we control that because we have that power in this present moment. Using mindfulness in Buddha's teaching, he's given us so many tools, but how can we, when the feelings arise, they're so strong, how can you control them to, I know anicca anatta dukkha, so see impermanence, but how can we further drill it down so that it registers in our, very ignorant minds?
Okay. Yeah, one answer. Gradual training.
Thank you.
Simple as that. Keep doing what you are doing. Listening to Dhamma, observing precepts, practicing mindfulness, giving dana, developing wisdom, Dhamma discussion. You are on the right path, so keep doing. Right? Everybody has that question,
Thank you, Bhante.
Why can't I still control these defilements? Why doesn't the enlightenment come to me soon? Buddha teaches. Everybody has those. And
Could it
Buddha
be
gave
lack
the
of
answer.
merit? Is it lack of merit? Like we don't have enough merit?
Definitely, that's one thing, but that's also answered by the gradual training. Because gradual training includes making merit, right? Making new merit is included. Yeah. Okay. Kimutu. Okay, no problem. Kimutu.
Sana sir, was it Megha Bhante that attained enlightenment after hearing these aids to enlightenment?
Buddha gave the same instructions to Arahant Megha Bhante as well before he attained enlightenment, and Arahant Megha Bhante has learned a lot from these discourses. He took them seriously, the Bhante, and Bhante, yes, eventually became an liberated monk. Very powerful instructions. Yeah. Okay.
So, from what I understood, the hardest one to develop is the last one. So in addition to Kalyana Mittas, what other factors are there to develop our wisdom?
Associating with Kalyana Mittas. Okay. What other factors? Wisdom should be supported by 5 other things. There's a whole different sutta. Wisdom should be supported by 5 other things, but I can just name. Everybody likes that question and everybody is going to like the answers. Everybody started writing. Okay, so the sutta name is Anuggahita Sutta. Wisdom should be the realization of the Four Noble Truths should be supported by precepts. That means when you grow precepts, it affects the wisdom. So it increases the wisdom as well. So that is Sila Anuggahita. Wisdom should be supported by Sila. Next one, Suttanuggahita. Wisdom should be supported by listening to the Dhamma. Third one, Sakacchanuggahita. Wisdom should be supported by Dhamma discussion. Number 4, wisdom should be supported by Samathanuggahita, calming meditation or serene meditation. Number 5, wisdom should be supported by vipassana, insight meditation. Happy? Okay. Are you happy?
Sorry, I have a follow-up question. To have precepts, don't we need to like have wisdom, like some understanding of Buddhist doctrine and Buddhist wisdom teachings?
To have what?
To have precepts, like to have higher precepts or just 5 precepts, don't people need like wisdom to start with, or is it like
There should be definitely there should be some degree of wisdom, but that wisdom is not the ultimate wisdom. It's just an initial understanding about the Four Noble Truths, and then based on those 5 things, that initial wisdom is the thing that is going to be culminated, that's going to be fully achieved in the last stage of enlightenment.
much better to answer?
Okay.
There was
Sometime- Uh-huh.
And samatha, are they the same? Meditation.
There is some part of breathing meditation, and then another part of breathing meditation relates to vipassana. So one can develop samatha and vipassana by developing breathing meditation, of course. Through breathing meditation, you first develop like calming. Yeah, the same, samatha. Prasad?
Thero Saraswamy, this is related to the previous questions, answer. Now, how do you define the word Subha in English?
Subha?
Or, yeah,
Subha means happy, pleasant nature, attractive nature. Those are the different translations.
the
Happy
reason for asking
nature.
the reason for asking is now, for it to be attractive, it has to give it has to have a sukha feeling. Like, it is, can it be categorized under there? And the sukha sukha distortion too, or it's this is only subha is only for the body part, then the sukha vipalas is for everything, like that?
No,
Did you
Subha
understand
means
that?
like you see some, let's say you see a delicious dish full of delicious curries, and then you get the Subha Sanya, perception of attractiveness, perception of beauty.
So that is, there's sukha sanya, then sukha vipalas, you can treat sukha vipalas too, right?
Yeah. So this is
I would-
Subha. Yeah, Subha and Sukha, different things.
Yeah, that's why I want to know now to differentiate. So that's why I asked that.
Okay. For now, you just understand Subha means the perception of beauty, and Sukha means the happiness, the pleasurable nature.
Okay, Swami. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, Swami. Okay.
Okay. Okay, good. Sadhu. Okay, so we didn't we learn beautiful teachings by learning this Sambodhisutta, awakening sutta? Very deep, right? But now we can like have confidence about the enlightenment of the Buddha and how well Buddha was able to analyze this path and explain it. Not only monks and nuns are able to follow this path, but also male lay followers, female lay followers who live at home, with lots of responsibilities, taking care of families, doing jobs, still can follow this path. That's the beauty of this path, discovered by an enlightened one. There are no restrictions or barriers or something like that. So that's the beauty of this path. So we discuss about this, we learned about this. So we collect a lots of merit. We share all the merit with our teacher, Lukuswami. We share merit with all the monks and nuns in the world. We share merit with all the devas. We share merit with our parents, teachers, family members, brothers, sisters, sons, daughters, and with all beings in the world. May all beings enjoy good health, long life, happiness, and peace.